Hello everyone, and welcome back to Scary TV, sponsored by Dab Sweats and Ballback Gaming. So, we talked about Skinwalker Ranch and its folklore, right? Even though you definitely aren't supposed to talk about skinwalkers. And then we talked about the infamous Bigfoot and a small few of his sightings. Now, we will cover Mothman. Are you ready? Don't forget to subscribe to let us know you want more of this awesome spooky folklore. Now, a lot of us are familiar with Mothman lore because of the ever-terrifying 2002 Mothman Prophecies movie starring Richard Gere. But, do you know the foundation of where it all began? Do you know someone who has seen Mothman or is afraid of Mothman? Comment below if so. The Mothman is actually folklore that originated in West Virginia. Kind of a bizarre place to start, right? No one ever really says, hey, what's a really scary place folklore always comes from? And goes, West Virginia. Usually it's like Australia is the scariest place around. I mean, have you seen the spiders? If not, here. Anyway, let's get back to this bonkers scary story. So, in 1966, there was this couple out for a romantic evening, as what couples would do. By the way, Valentine's Day is coming up. Make sure you subscribe for our upcoming Valentine's Day True Crime Marathon videos. So that night in 1966, the couple is out in a quiet town of Point Pleasant, where pleasures abound. This couple saw a 7-foot flying man birth moth thing that is now known as Mothman. This Mothman had witnessed as having a wingspan of 10 feet across and ominous large eyes that just said quietly, "I love lamp." Okay, just kidding. Instead, it let out a horrific screech and clicking sounds. Terrified, as anyone who isn't on opiates would be, the couple fled as reportedly chased by Mothman at speeds of 100 miles per hour. After this, many of the town began to report sightings of Mothman, as well as others extraordinary phenomena. People started seeing aliens, UFOs, and the infamous Men in Black. Mothman became even more of a town terror, as it was believed that the disappearing dogs were caused by the beasts eating the local best friends of men. Then came the collapse of the Silver Bridge. This horrific event took place when the bridge, which was built in 1928 and spanned a portion of the U.S. Route 35 over the Ohio River, collapsed suddenly. 46 people tragically lost their lives that night, and 2 of the victims were never found, rumored to be seen taken off by Mothman. Analysis shows that the bridge was carrying much heavier loads than it had been designed for and was poorly maintained, but many believed the sudden heavy weight was due to the massive beast touching down at supersonic speeds at the top of the bridge. So after the couple saw the monster, the local newspaper called Point Pleasant Register ran an article on November 16, 1966, titled, "Couples See Man-Sized Bird. Creatures something," very eloquently. This story was retold many times over, but the first covering was by Gray Barker in 1970. Then the original book that spurred the most famous movie came out in 1975 by John Keel, which also claimed that supernatural events were tied to the Silver Bridge collapse. Folklorist John Harold Brunvard notes that wherever Mothman was seen became a hotbed for UFO sightings. While some might use this as a way to disprove one or the other, it actually led to many other theories. Know any of your own? Comment below. Now, one key thing about Mothman was that it was rumored to have very, very large eyes that glowed red and blinked sideways very rapidly. Mason County Sheriff George Johnson commented that he believed the sightings were due to a large heron named a shitepoke. Meanwhile, contractor Newell Partridge was rumored to have told the sheriff that when he aimed a flashlight at the monster in a nearby field, its eyes glowed like bicycle reflectors. And when the sheriff was asked about the buzzing, clicks, and shrieks, the sheriff blamed the buzzing noises on his television set. However, he did blame the creature for the disappearance of dogs. Wildlife biologist Robert L. Smith at West Virginia University told the reporters that the descriptions and sightings all fit the sandhill crane. A sandhill crane is a large American crane almost as high as a man, a 7-foot wingspan featuring circles of reddish coloring around its eyes, and the bird may have wandered out of its migration route. This crane is not native to this region whatsoever, though. Some disbelievers also blamed Batman on television for influencing the minds with images of the comic book villain Killer Moth. Newspapers actually settled on Mothman because of its resemblance to Killer Moth. Some disbelievers wondered if those who saw the Mothman were actually on drugs and so high they thought they saw it after watching the episodes of Batman. Now, we get to the bridge collapse. December 15th, 1967. 46 lives snuffed out in the blink of an eye. This enraged locals, and they decided to hunt for the creature after it was rumored to have been the cause of the bridge collapse. At the time, they did not understand the engineering reasons for why the bridge collapsed. Mothman, though, became known around the world as a harbinger of bad juju. According to Georgian newspaper Svobodnya Gruzia, Russian ufologists claim the Mothman sightings began in Moscow right before the 1999 Russian apartment bombings. In 2016, WCHS-TV published a photo reported to be the Mothman, taken by an anonymous man while driving on Route 2. Science writer Sharon A. Hill proposed that the photo showed a bird or an owl carrying a frog or a snake away, and wrote that there is zero reason to suspect it is the Mothman described in legend, as there are far too many reasonable explanations. Nowadays, Point Pleasant holds an annual Mothman Festival that started in 2002. The Mothman Festival began as a tourism event due to the declining revenue in the town. The group organizing the event chose Mothman to be the center of the event due to its uniqueness and that its legacy began in their town. The event organizer, Jeff Wamsley, said that the average attendance for the Mothman is estimated between 10 to 12,000 people per year. A 12-foot-tall metallic statue of the creature, created by artist and sculptor Bob Roach, was unveiled in 2003. Following the event's grand success, the Mothman Museum and Research Center opened in 2005. The festival is held on the third weekend of every September and hosts guest speakers, vendor exhibits, pancake eating contests, and a hayride tours of locally notable areas. In June 2020, a petition was started to replace all Confederates with statues of Mothman. The petition has so far gathered over 2,000 signatures. Well, that wraps up tonight's video. What did you think? Do you think Mothman is real? Do you think we should cover the Men in Black in our next video? Comment below, and don't forget to leave a like for us so we know to keep creating this great scary content for you here on Scary TV. Now this is Scary TV, signing out.